In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Kali NetHunter on an Android phone. Gives you a lot of power. As an example, I could run an application such as Wi-Fi. With my Android phone connected to a Wi-Fi adapter, I could then attack Wi-Fi networks. So as an example, I'll select 3 here, which is this network adapter. LED comes on, and we are now scanning for Wi-Fi networks, which I can then attack. I've demonstrated that kind of stuff in separate videos. As always, this is only for educational purposes. Do not attack Wi-Fi networks that you don't own or have permission to attack. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to install Kali NetHunter on an Android phone. There are various versions of Kali NetHunter. To get the full power of Kali NetHunter, you need to use a rooted phone. But there are various editions. We've got Rootless. I've shown you in previous videos how to install Kali as a rootless install. Use the video below if you want to see how to do that. Very simple installation, but doesn't have as much power as NetHunter Lite, which doesn't have as much power as NetHunter. If you want to run Wi-Fi injection attacks, you need to use a rooted phone. If you want to do HID attacks, you need a rooted phone. Basically, if you want to run NetHunter and use it to its full potential, you need to have a rooted phone. In a previous video, which I've linked below, I showed you how to root an Android phone. In this video, I'm just going to show you how to install Kali NetHunter on a phone that's been rooted. As an example, if I run this application, I can verify that the phone has been rooted. So as you can see here, this is a rooted Android device. I'll create various videos showing you how to root Android devices. In this example, I'm using a OnePlus 7T to learn how to learn this kind of stuff with, but I'll create videos on other phones. Let me know in the comments below which kind of phones you want me to create content about. But without further ado, let me show you how to get Kali NetHunter installed on an Android phone like this. I will warn you that it isn't a simple process. There are a bunch of steps that you have to do, but it gives you a mobile device running Kali, which is fantastic if you want to, for instance, test Wi-Fi networks. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is download DM-Verity and force the encrypt disabler. We're going to download it using this link. We need to download the disabler. So I'm going to download that to my desktop, and then I'm going to extract those files. Okay, so files have been extracted. Next thing we need to do is download Twrp. So I'm going to go to the Twrp website. On the top right-hand side, I'm going to select devices. In my example, this is a OnePlus, so I'm going to select OnePlus, and the specific phone is a 7T, so OnePlus 7T. So I'm going to download the software for this phone. In my example, this is a European phone. So under settings, I'm going to check about phone, and you can see the model number here is a 1903. That is a European phone. So I'm going to download the primary image for Europe and then download that image file. And I'll save that to my desktop. I'll connect the phone to my computer. If you asked, you need to allow USB debugging. I've already done that, so I don't have to do that here. Now, in the previous video, when I showed you how to root the Android phone, and I've linked that video once again below, we downloaded the platform tools so that we could send files to the phone. So in case you haven't watched that video, you need to go to the developer.android.com website, download the SDK for the relevant platform. In this case, it's a Windows computer. So I'm going to download the SDK to my desktop. I'm going to show that in folder, and what I'll do is extract that file. So my platform tools have been extracted, and what I'll do here is open up a terminal in that folder. I'm currently in the platform tools folder, and I'm going to use the ADB software to push the DM-Verify software to the phone. So what I'll do is move the disabled DM-Verify zip file to the platform tools folder. It's actually in this extracted folder here. So there's the file in the platform tools folder. So if I type ls again, you can see the file is there. So the command we're going to use is adb executable push. The file that we're going to push is the disable DM-Verify zip file, and we're going to push that to the SD card on the phone and the downloads directory. Now, actually, before I type that command, I'm going to use adb devices to make sure that the device is connected. So the service had to start, so that's now starting. And as you can see, the device is connected. It's important that you see your device. And now what I can do is push the zip file to the phone. We're going to push it to the SD card download directory. Make sure that you get the spelling right. And as you can see there, the file has been successfully copied. I'll clear the screen. We now need to use ADB reboot bootloader. As you can see, the phone has now rebooted. So I'm going to use the command fastboot, and we need to tell it to boot from the Twrp image. Now this is taking a while to download. So what I'll do is take a copy of a previously downloaded file, and I'll paste that into my platform tools directory. So the Twrp file 370.11.0 hotdog.image file is the file that I downloaded from Twrp. I'm going to specify that image, and that's what I'm going to tell the phone to boot with. So the boot image file is being sent to the phone. Phone is now rebooting into fastboot. As you can see, Twrp has started. This may take a while, so just wait for it. And what we're going to do now is press install. We're going to go to our download directory, and we're going to install the disable software. So that zip file that we downloaded. Move this to the right. Software is now installed. I'm going to wipe. I'm going to slide it to the right and then reboot the system. Phone is now rebooting. Now, while we're waiting for the phone to reboot, you need to go to kali.org if you haven't got Kali already downloaded. And then you need to download the virtual machine version of Kali. Okay, so that's actually rebooted now. So there we go. I can log in to the phone. But back on the virtual machines, I need to download a virtual machine image for VMware as an example, or VirtualBox, depending on what you're using. In my example, I'm using VMware Workstation Player. Once you've downloaded the Kali virtual machine, so as an example, clicking download and downloading it, you can import that into VMware Workstation Player or VirtualBox, whichever one you're using. So I've already pre-downloaded this. So I'm going to go File, Open. I've got this in my downloads directory. So I'll open up Kali and I'll press play to boot it up. And there you go. Kali is now booting. Okay, so I'll log in with the default credentials, Kali and Kali. And there you go. Kali is now running. And what I can do is open up a terminal. Now on the Kali website, I'm going to click download and I'm going to select mobile and I'm going to download the NetHunter software for my specific phone. My specific phone is the OnePlus 7T, so I'm going to select that software. I am using version 11, not the Oxygen OS. So that's the version that I'm going to download. Okay, so according to this download, it's going to be 3 hours. Now that's going to take too long. So I've pre-downloaded the software. So I'm going to copy that to my desktop platform tools folder. Okay, so in PowerShell, ls shows us that we've got that file in the platform tools directory. So what I'm going to do now is use ADB push NetHunter zip file to SD card download. Press enter. And you can see that that file has been copied to the phone. Might take it a while, but you just need to wait for the zip file to be copied, and then we can install it on the phone. Okay, so the file has successfully copied. So on the phone, I can open Magisk. That was installed previously when I rooted the phone. So if you don't have the phone rooted and this installed, have a look at the previous video, which I've linked below. I'm going to go to Modules. Install from storage, go to File Manager, Download, and the software that I'm going to install is the NetHunter software. You just need to wait for that installation to take place. It will take a while, but again, just wait for it to complete. As you can see there, Kali is now being installed. As we told you, it could take up to 25 minutes for this to install. So now's a good time to go and get some coffee or something while the software installs. You literally just need to wait for this to complete. Okay, so once that completes, press reboot to reboot the phone. Okay, so the phone is rebooted. Notice the background has changed. We can see that this is a NetHunter phone. But the next step is to compile and install the NetHunter kernel. Without that, you lose a lot of functionality. So on the Kali virtual machine, I'll make the terminal bigger. I'm going to use the command git clone, and I'm going to clone the Kali NetHunter project. So that's been cloned. Okay, so software has downloaded. I'll go into the Kali NetHunter project directory. ls shows us that we've got a NetHunter installer directory. So I'll go into NetHunter installer. ls shows us various files. We want to run the bootstrap.sh file. We need to respond no to all the prompts. So no. So we just need to wait for this to complete. We now need to run the build.py script. You can use the Python 3 build.py-h to get help, but in this case, we want to build the kernel for the OnePlus 7. So the command I'm going to use is Python 3 build.py. Device is the OnePlus 7 all, and we want to build a kernel for all Android 11 devices. So I'll press enter. That's completed. ls now shows us that this file has been created. So as you can see, we've got a NetHunter file that's been created. Okay, so what I'm going to do is move that to my Windows computer. So under Kali NetHunter project, NetHunter installer, we've got this file. So I'm going to drag that into Windows. And there you go. The file is now available in the platform tools directory. So back in PowerShell, ls, we can see the files here. So adb push kernel NetHunter zip to the SD card download. Okay, file has been pushed. Okay, so now you need to make a decision. If you're using the European version of a OnePlus 7T, which I'm doing, we are going to use the Franco kernel manager to install the software. If you're using a global version, you need to use Twrp to install the kernel. If you're following the document, which I've linked below, you can skip to page 35 if you're using a global version and you want to use Twrp. But what I'm doing here, because I'm using a European version of software, I'm going to go to the Play Store and I'm going to search for Franco Kernel Manager. Okay, so this costs about $1.49. Probably worth buying this, makes it a lot easier, especially on European phones. So I'm going to install that software, which I've already purchased, and then I'm going to open it. Grant access, and we can see various information about the phone. So I'm going to go to the menu. I'm going to select Flasher. I'm going to allow access. I'm going to do a manual flash. Go to File Manager. Go to Download. I'm going to select the file that I just copied, and then I'm going to flash and reboot to the phone. As you can see, the Kali kernel has been installed. Phone is now restarting. Okay, so under my applications, I can select NetHunter. I'm going to allow access while using the device. I'm going to grant access. I need to select the Kali root manager. As you can see, NetHunter was granted super user rights. Okay, notice the applications are not enabled on the phone. So what we're going to do is start chroot or start charroot, however you want to pronounce that. Notice it's now enabled. So applications are now enabled on the phone. So don't forget to start chroot. And the next thing to do now is restart the phone. So I'll restart it. Phone is back. We're almost finished. I'm going to open up a NetHunter terminal, allow access, specify Android shell, and then I need to put in the command su-c pm disable com OnePlus OP backup. We basically want to disable Oxygen updates. Okay, so that was a long process, but there you go. I've got Kali NetHunter running on this phone. I can run the Kali software as an example, and then do things such as attack Wi-Fi networks and run various other attacks.